Just realised I'm muted. I'm so sorry. I've been muted for so long. Oh my God, I feel like Stell. I do apologise. I do apologise. I do apologise. I know we can't hear you. I know. I feel like Stell. Oh my God. So bad. Anyway, we'll start again. Elephant in the room. I've got a hat on. It's cold in the Bud and Bunker. It is a bit cold today. And I've got a spot. And so I thought I'd put the hat on. Anyway, as I said, Dan Randolph could be going. Looks like he's going today out on loan. And Jed Steers going to out as well. He's their reserve goalkeeper. And Connor Coventry as well. Right, start again. Doesn't matter. Start again. Right, and we're going to go do a debrief for the game, and also we're going to go through some ratings as well, because we've got obviously Norwich on Wednesday, and then we've got Leeds on the Sunday again. So I thought we'll do the ratings so you get my views. Father Snowman's in, he's knackered. It's good to see him. Gary and Father Gazza and Father was in fine form. And obviously, Kidderminster Harriers, 6,500 capacity. So I think we can get, I think it's 600, I think 650 or 600 they had to the Reading game. So that's what we're looking at. Hi, loves, hope you're well. Kidder only 30 miles, how to get a ticket. Very hard to get a ticket. You might, I don't know if any chance to do what in the home end, but you have to be a season ticket holder, I imagine. Good miming, exactly. Thank you, indeed. Yeah, I know. I feel like Stell. Don't tell Stell. No sound. Stell, you're on mute, indeed. I'm just talking to myself. I always do. There's no one else listens to me. Not Charlie Chaplin. Rush Chaplin, indeed. Rusby has Mrs. Not allowed to put heating on, indeed. No, it's because I wasn't having down here a weekend, and so it takes a while for the heating. It's like one of those electric ones. So I'm in the thermals with my hat on. Unbelievable. Indeed, you Stelios in disguise. No, I'm not. I'm not indeed. So what I thought we'll do a debrief of that. It'd be good to get your thoughts on what you thought the game was like. For me, I thought it was a good game. I thought it's one of those games where we just controlled it. You know, I don't think 2-0 was a real reflection of the game. I thought we were pretty much in control most of the game. Leeds didn't really offer much, in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts. I'm going to go through some of the ratings as well. Be interested to see what you guys think. Who is your man of the match and people like that. FY Russ Panini stickers are out for the season. I had 500 delivered today. Panini stickers are out. Unbelievable. Why aren't they switching the venue? We could give them 6 and pay for the coaches. No, that's not the fun. That's not the fun of it, is it? It's not the fun of it. So it's a bit frustrating. Obviously, only 650 people can go, or 600, 650. I'm sure there'll be a lot of tickets on resale, and I imagine there'll be. I don't know, or Kidderminster probably sell out their half, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of West Ham players in that as well. West Ham fans. Hasn't been decided yet. So it will be decided soon. How good were the Gooners? Good old Gooners. It's not one team in North London, it's the other team, isn't it? And obviously, Tottenham, we found at half time that Tottenham were losing to Morecambe. We had to make sure that was we had to bump that up the list a little bit so everyone could get a good old laugh about it yesterday. But obviously, Tottenham ended up going through. I'd play Yarmolenko, Kral, Noble. They would look class against a team like that. Alpha, let's get the next few games out of the way before we think about that. I think it's going to be the first weekend in February. I think that's the March 4, where we've got a break. Because I think after the Man United game, there's a break, isn't there? So I think it's almost like a 2-week break, I think. And I think it's at the end of that break. So that's already been planned in. Good afternoon, Mark. Have you all played well? But let's not forget it was a poor Leeds side. Lots of injuries, I think. I believe the game is on TV. It will be. It surely will be, Stuart. It's a nailed on TV game, isn't it? Bet we get the Friday night game. Don't mind that. Bit of a watch along Friday night kebab. Sounds good to me. We played Watford on the Tuesday, so we're playing on the Friday against Kidderminster. Good knowledge from the chef. Doff my cap to you. Miyama was man of the match, given best 10-second show. Didn't make him. He didn't miss, but you're too right. He didn't misplace a pass. Sat in a different seat. It was horrible to hear the fans when the players back. Talking about Diop specifically, better to cheer them on and slam them on the other ball. Totally great. We'll talk about the players specifically. Russ, did you see the rapper Governor B? Keep an eye on the channel next week. Ask him now, shall we see? We should we'll hopefully have Governor on next week. He's a bit busy at the moment because everyone's like, I spoke to him yesterday. He was like, because everyone's because it was because like his tune was number 1 in the iChart. Everyone wants a piece of him. He's on Sky Sports today again, and so he's a bit busy this week. So we're going to get him on next week to talk about that. Talk about why is West Ham fans, or sort of my Hammer's 11 type thing, and. Yeah, but more about the man, because we've heard about it. Fair play, good trip. We put it on. I played it yesterday. He was. I sent him the link. He was very happy about that. So it's all good. Love the rap Gaza. Nice message to Lingard indeed. I'm 23 game will be live on YouTube. Very good. That's good to know. Suits update 8's. It's been a brilliant 9 seasons. Fair play. I see Tom Clark gave you a Twitter share. He always does, Scott. He always does. Old Tom Clark. He always does. Not to speed up with the bubble. Not up to speed. He doesn't. Well, it's because they do it on a year by year basis, don't they? So we had Sam last year, didn't we? And then Tom's taken over. Sam's at Chelsea now, covering the Chelsea. Is it Chelsea? Yeah, he's covering Chelsea now. And so Sam would have known, but Tom, you got to keep these guys up to speed. For anyone who don't know, we always used to play when we play. We always for years we play. A second bubbles just before we actually kick off. And during lockdown, it didn't really work out because there's no one singing. So it's like, there's no point because you cut it at fortunes or whatever. So we didn't do it. So what we did instead was didn't play it. And then obviously then came back, you had the taking the knee, everything else. And, the timings have changed slightly. So we've been trying to get it in for ages. The Europa League we can't do because they control that bit. But the Premier League and the FA Cup, myself and my floor manager, have been trying to get it in for ages. That second bubbles, but obviously with the FA Cup, because you haven't got the obligatory handshake music and stuff like that, we can manage. We got it in, and because there's been so much of everyone loved it. We're going to hopefully try and get it in much longer. We are trying. I'd sign Dele Alli from Spurs. I reckon Spoiler turn into a monster again. Who knows? Jordan, what channel is? I think it's the under 20. Yeah, I think it's the official one. I think it's on. Does anyone know the date when the transfer win? I think it's literally on the Monday. Isn't it Monday the 31st? I think it finishes. Right. Anyway, I'll give you my thoughts. In terms of the players, in terms of how I thought they played. And if you agree with me, great. If you don't, it's up to you. Everyone has opinions, as you know, just like arseholes. Everyone's got one. So Areola. So I thought Areola as a player, in terms of his performance yesterday, was very comfortable. There was no scare moments. His distribution was good as always. And technically his punch at the end set up the goal. So, not technically an assist, but he was just comfortable. I think, defensively, I think we were very comfortable across the board. I wouldn't say we were phenomenal. We were just comfortable. I think we were just comfortable. So I put him down as a 6 because he didn't do anything to warrant going 7, 8, 9. He was just comfortable in my opinion. But yeah, he did. His distribution was very, very good. Scott agrees. It was class. Class. It was comfortable. I wouldn't say he'd do anything. There was no real he wasn't brought upon to make any fantastic saves, was he? Really? So yeah, I don't think. So I think 6 is fair. I'd say. Russell News and Cresswell. Apparently, Clarence Hugh reckon he's been ready for the last few days. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him on the maybe the Norwich game. Maybe. Potentially, that's what Clarence Hugh reckon. He's been on the grass for several days, as Moyes would say. So would say, thought we didn't play well, and they were going to score long, but like head out. Yeah, for me, I think they weren't a very good side. I think we scored a goal, and we should have easily scored a couple more, to be honest, in my opinion. He does command the error. Yeah. Gaz has gone for 7, so we're in the same ballpark. 6 or 7. Toby, hope you're my friend. So Ariana, I put it down as a 6. Johnson, again, I think, to be fair, Johnson was solid as always. He's keen to get forward in any opportunity, which is great, and we love it. And that's what a modern day fullback's all about. But for me, there wasn't, I always slightly worry when he's on, not slightly worry, but I prefer him on the right than the left. That's just me. I just prefer him on his natural foot. So, but a fine display. Again, didn't do anything to warrant a 7, 8. Like a top mark. He was just solid. I thought the whole defense played solid. So I put him down as a 6 as well. Might be harsh. That's me. Toby Gennariello 7. Fair play. 6 harsh. At least 7 or 8. Did he do enough to warrant an 8? I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this from with a sort of a neutral's perspective. He played well, but I don't think as a team we played at an 8 or a 9 level. Do you know what I mean? Out of 10. So how can players have an 8 where I don't think the team, some players definitely stood out, but some just played part of the team. And there's nothing wrong with it. He's not playing a 4, but I think an average performance. I think 6 is an average performance. Thank you, Toby. Nice that. Indeed. Still think Slavi better keeper. Back would be good. I think he might be better reflexes, better in the air, better distribution. Time to give him more starts. We'll see. Toby's gone for 6 or 7. Jordan's gone for an 8. Looked calm. 7 for me. Lee's done okay considering the players they had out, nothing up. And it sounds like obviously Firpo, Junior's going to be out as well for the Leeds for the return game potentially as well. Costume was class, yeah, but I think sometimes he got caught second half. I think he got caught out a little bit second half when they overloaded the right hand side, and obviously then they brought on Masuaku to try and it didn't work obviously, but to try and a lot was coming down that right hand his side. So Johnson 7. I mean 6 or 7. It's an opinion, isn't it? It's literally 1 second difference. But right. So who's next? Diop. So obviously shaky at the beginning, very shaky first half, but then I think second half was pretty uneventful and quite consistent in the second half. I think shaky first half, second half not. He was competent second half. So I think, he had a poor first half, second half was better. So, I put him as a 6 because that's my average. I think that's an average game. I think he didn't play very well at the first half, but he made up for it in the second half. So, I think he grew into the game. But to be honest, I think him and Dawson didn't have much, to be honest. Corners and free kicks were woeful yesterday. Yeah, they were. Diop 5. We don't do half marks here. I'm in part of the Matt school of ratings, so I put down as a 6. Diop a general 6, and Nizoggy. I mean, we've always said that, Toby. Both of them, him and Dawson, will play at a high level when they play with a better centre back partner. Together, they don't play well together. 6. Diop 5.5. Gaza 6. Yama 10 out of 10. Fair play. I'm actually giving him a not applicable because he didn't really come on. I have to play more than a couple of minutes to warrant a Budden rating, to be honest. Diop 6. Rumours Zuma over injuries over. Well, apparently he was one of 3 who had COVID. Him, Sufal, and Ashby apparently on Twitter. But apparently he's the idea is he'll be back by the end of the month. So we'll see. Diop 5. I don't think he warranted the 5. I think it was a clean sheet. He had a clean sheet, so therefore he's done his job. The defense and the goalkeeper have done their job. So again, if he scored, then maybe a 7, but he hadn't. So that's the way I see it. Dawson again. He played well, won everything in the air, I'd say. Again, largely untroubled, solid again, not spectacular. He had that. I didn't like that Green. Was it Greenwood? Was it Greenwood? Was his name the striker who just seemed to be like an amalgamation of everything I hate about modern footballers. Just the way he looked. He had the faded haircut. Not a fan. He had like a tan. Not a fan. He had his teeth done. Not a fan. And he was just like really scrawny. Not a fan. He just looked like I just didn't like him at all. And he tried to put it about a bit. I've gone for a 6 again because again he didn't do anything to he did his job. He did his job. He kept a clean sheet, largely untroubled. Although he did try to play a lot more ball. He tried to do it's more sort of central rather than lump it. He was trying to sort of do a drilled ball for the middle, which wasn't really working. He was trying it, but anyway. Dawson 6. Dawson I want to give a 6, but it was better than Diop. Yeah, but I think balance of play. I think they played roughly the same. But anyway, it's my opinion. Dawson 7 should have got a pen potentially, but then VAR ruled it wasn't. And to be honest, VAR did us a favour, for that first goal. To be honest, well, not really, but I could see it was really hard. It was inconclusive that VAR. Where obviously Bowen was offside, and then did Vlasic nick the ball before Bowen touched it? I'd say he did, but it's literally millimeters. Dawson 5. I don't think he warrants a 5, guys. Gets a clean sheet. But that's your opinion, man. Dawson 6, 7. Morning, Jason. Hope you're my friend. Good morning to you over in the States. 9 for Dawson. He's after play every game and hasn't broken yet. But he's done his job. Yeah, I don't know. He's done his job. I mean, I agree. I know what you mean, Mandy. But he's a professional player, football player who's paid to turn up and play football. And he, as a defender, his job is to keep clean sheets. And he did. He did his job. That's fair enough. Sorry, Jack. I thought he's in the States. My apologies. Hey, guys. Hey, 6 is a bit harsh. Would you say he's worthy of a 7 or an 8? I don't know. But it's one person's opinion. For me, I think 8. I think 7 would be, or an 8 would be, Dawson getting chances in the corners, coming forward a lot more with the ball, doing more than his normal job. He doesn't run the ball. I mean, Diop, to be honest, he brought the ball forward quite a bit, Diop, to be fair, but his first half wasn't very good. So that's why Dawson was under a lot of pressure as Diop thought he was a box-to-box midfielder in the first half. How comes you had to be at 8:30? Well, I'm always there. I have to be there 4 hours before. Well, I have to be there 4 hours before kickoff. So I was meant to be there at 9:11. No, 10. And then there's obviously all the COVID things at the moment. So we got there early and there was no fucker there. So I literally walked straight through. Hey, Russ, getting very weird lately. Yeah, Russ, getting very weird lately. What's getting very weird lately? Let me know. Dawson at 7, no mistakes. One everything got a clean sheet. That's why I think a 6. But it's where your standoff point is, isn't it? For me, 6 is an average game. He's doing your job basically. So anyway, gets a clean sheet, never really troubled. That's what I think. Black Country 7. So I mean 6, 7. It's not really a massive difference. Fredericks. I thought probably one of his stronger games for us. Definitely. Obviously, with the potential, the supposed news that Soufal and Ashby were both out, I think it did him a favour. Really, he got forward really well. He's got something which most of the team haven't got. Most of the defence haven't got a genuine pace. He got up and down quite well. Excellent crosses, and particularly when Dan James came on, obviously he's very quick. And he matched him for pace. There was a couple of times where he did almost like a foot race in the second half, and I thought he did quite well. So I put him down as a 7. That's quite interesting because I'm just seeing some of the comments. So it's funny how people see games differently. I mean, I saw that. Some other people didn't. So, for example, someone like Skipper thought he was poor. 5 out of 10. Fair enough. Mandy thought he was 7.5. Toby thought he was 7. There we go. I think he's well until he's not there. No, I agree. I think Dawson's one of those players. I think he's one of those players who you assume, because he's always going to do a good. He doesn't, when he does a mistake, he's not going to be spectacular, but when he does a mistake, he stands out. So that Newcastle game last season when we lost and he got sent off and gave the ball away, that was really unusual. And so that stood out more than Diop doing it. You sort of assume Diop's going to do it, if that makes sense, because he's got a mistake in him. We don't think he's got a mistake in him. He's not the quickest, but he's shrewd. He knows what he's doing. Ryan was a 7, would be an 8. He gets a shot for not passing and have that shot. Indeed, he did get through quite a bit. You're right. 6, lots of running. Final ball let him down. Indeed, there was one. I think was it the first half where he went for it. It was a very similar instance to the one where he got injured crossing the ball, and I thought he was going to do it again. But yeah, I thought he played well. Tracked back to centre. He did. Centre back, he did. I wouldn't say an 8. If he'd scored, I'd put him down as an 8. There's a couple of times where he should have scored, I think, when Bowen put him in, I think, the first half, and he's quite a tame shot. Solid 7. A good game in two minds what to do. 6. Yeah, I think sometimes defenders, if they get into attacking position, they don't know what to do as much. So that's what it is. Frederick's gone for 7, almost scored. He took his chance. He did. Solid 7. Final ball gets better when you play more games. Indeed. And maybe, I don't know how far along that Soufal or Ashby are in terms of if they have COVID. Maybe he might get another game run out against Norwich. Who knows? Peach C Governor B. Keep an eye on the channel next week. Hopefully we get Governor on. It sounds like it. He's up for it. Declan Rice. Now, again, I'd say, where I think for someone like a Diop or a Dawson, an average game is a 6. For me, Declan Rice, an average game is a 7. I mean, he was. I mean, maybe I could put him down. I mean, I put him down as a 7. Maybe I could have put him down as an 8. I'll be honest. Maybe I put him down as an 8. But for me, he was just to be honest, he didn't have much. He didn't have much competition. With Calvin Lewin, not Calvin, with Phillips not there either. There wasn't that head to head, and he did what he always does. He drives the team forward, and maybe I should have put him down as an 8. Thinking about it in retrospect, but that was what I thought of immediately after. When I drove home, I put some. That's what I put. So maybe an 8, but maybe GP's gone for 8.5. We don't do half points here. Rice 7 didn't have his shooting boots on, indeed, and he's taken a bit. There's a couple of times where I thought, why are you delivering the ball from a free kick? Why isn't Bowen delivering the ball from the free kick? And there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm thinking, Deck 7, 8 for Deckers. Him and Zuva play so much better when they mix it up rather than one sitting all the time. Rice 7. I thought Rice wasn't really involved. Yeah, I thought he didn't need to. I didn't think he needed to get involved. Easy game. It wasn't easy. It was very comfortable. Rice 7. So, I mean, people are similar, similar thoughts. Fair play. I thought Rice seemed to get in. Well, what's quite interesting is I thought where Rice played an average game for him, again, they got quite comfortable. I thought Souček didn't. I didn't think he was as good. I put it as a 6. He covered a lot of ground. He was running about a bit, did a lot of stuff off the ball, but didn't do much when he had the ball. There was a lot of times where he'd get the ball sort of central defensive positions and be very simple passes, and didn't do that driving which he sometimes does. He didn't seem to get himself into the box as much as he would normally do. Again, it was quite a comfortable game. I think across the team was quite comfortable. He hasn't. I mean, he's again. It's like he's doing a lot of the work, which I think you see when you don't see him play. When if you're not watching him all the time, there's a lot of groundwork, a lot of running about, a bit like Fornals does when he plays. He does a lot of that, a lot of covering, but he didn't. He was quite anonymous, I think, yesterday. But again, he didn't need to step up. We've got 7 still. So, I give Souček very, very industrious, bad passing at times. That's what I mean. So 7, if he's done bad passing, why is he? I think no. But anyway, it's your point. I mean, that's the thing. Done his job, went under the radar. Yeah, 7, 6. So again, we're in the same ballpark, 6 or 7. And again, what were your point of references? So yeah, what on similar levels. It's not as bad as Matt. I'm joking. I love Matt. Although I did email or text Matt to see if he was okay, because I thought I'd do some ratings, because I thought he ain't gonna have time, and he was cool with it. He wasn't pretentious with it, so it was good. Right, Vlasic. Obviously came off just literally before full time, 89 minutes, something like that. Unlucky. I made a point on Claret and Booze last night, which Gary said was very insightful. So you heard it here first. Every time I'm talking about Vlasic, every game, it's his best game for us. So the last game was his best game for us, and the game before that was his best game for us, and this game was his best game for us, in my opinion. The lad is growing into a player. Now, some people have come out before and said, "Oh, he's going to be a flop," and I don't think he was. I mean, we look at. I mean, I looked at the stats, and when we signed Ben Rama in January, he didn't score his first goal till May or April or May time. Vlasic we signed in August. I think he scored his first goal, in December, or so again, similar. And I think with Ben Rama not there now, there's a real chance of this guy having some proper game time under his belt. And I think it was it Gary or was it Gonzo? Someone said this might be why there's a slight delay in this whole Lingard thing. Maybe Vlasic we don't need Lingard. I don't know, but it's interesting to see how that works. He grew into the game. he does it very similar to Bowen in terms of he comes off and cuts inside. It's very tricky for defenders to follow him. Was unlucky to not score that goal as well, but he in essence he set it up. Again, I think I've been a bit harsh. I might look at this. I'm going to put it down as an 8, not a 7. I'm going to take that off and put it down as an 8. He didn't. If he'd scored, I think he would have got a 9. But I'm going to put him down as an 8. What we got here? Vlasic. About time. Vlasic 7. Thought Yarmo had a great game. Vlasic 8. 9, 9, 9. Vlasic given 8. Right-footed Bowen indeed. And that's what I think you've got now. You've got some real balance. I think Benny drifts into not drifts. I mean, it's not no sliding, but where Bowen tends to hug that right touchline, Vlasic could really hug that left touchline, and then you've got Lanzini and Benny playing that 10 role. The interesting thing is, where does Fornals come into this now? And I think for sometimes you don't want 2 attacking. Sometimes you'll put forward. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the one game this week, whether it's the Norwich game or the Leeds game, Fornals starts, and then Vlasic starts the other one. Just because I think maybe even the Leeds game, because they know what we're doing. I think we're going to line up exactly the same. Best game 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 would have been 10 if scored. Well, it's up to you, man. 9, I think 9 if he scored, but it's your opinion. Vlasic 9, 8, one of his best games. I think it was his best game. He's progressing nicely, and he was running about. Beware when he come back. Indeed, Vlasic gels split with Lanzini and Benny. I think you're right. I think maybe they're two. Maybe Benny and Lanzini on 2 similar levels, not levels, but they both want to be the top number 10. So maybe. Russ, I rated you at 7. Where even when you play Crazy Frog, I didn't play Crazy Frog. When I play Crazy Frog, idiot. 10 for his diving. Vlasic's over Ben Right, allowed Ben to really stretch the defense. I think the 3 of them really stretched them. I forgot about the diving. Back down to 7. I don't like that. Well, I'm going to put down for it. Yeah, you can like it. It's because it's rating. Some people agree, some people disagree. But whatever you do, give it a like just to help out. It's always nice. Gets us up the algorithm. A nice comment afterwards helps with the algorithm. All that good stuff. People, sending more people to us to criticize our rating scores. Right. Lanzini obviously went off about 75 minutes, something like that. Arguably our most creative player. Most creative player. Always looking for the ball, always looking to make things happen. It was the right game for him because Leeds were going to play not defensive, but they were going to stand back. And that's when Lanzini is really good. When the game's stretched, when the game is end to end, Lanzini isn't always the best player. I think Benny's more of it because he's got that pace as well. Lanzini cannot really run past players with blistering pace. Benny can do that. But he's 6. I think he was saying, I think Rob interviewed him after the game. 6 goals he scored this season. Well, he scored 3 in those last 2, but I thought he is. It's weird because when he came back, everyone assumed he was going to play his deep lying, like he did against Burnley last season, his deep sort of lying central midfield quarterback role. But actually, he's now back as a 10. I'm really excited for him. As long as don't get injured again. And that's the only question mark with a lot of our players, with him, with Antonio. These guys, as long as they're, fighting fit, we're gonna, be able to really sort of push on. I mean, I put him down as an 8. What we got here? What we got? I did not play the Crazy Frog. I played Governor B. I definitely played that. Lanzini 9. I did not play Crazy Frog. The only reckon if you're listening to it might have been the TV. I promise you, I did not play Crazy Frog. What I played at halftime, I can tell you straight away, is I played Runs to Hills by I Maiden. Then after that I played Fozzy, Judas. Then after that I played Governor, Massive. I think it's not number 1. It was number 1 on the iTunes chart yesterday. I think it's 2 or 3 now. And then I played AC/DC. Highway to Hell, and then I played Triple H, the game. That's exactly what I played, the track for track. Afternoon, Chris. I wonder when we'll start making stuff. Well, obviously, the news that Darren Randolph's probably going to Villa on loan today, and also Connor Coventry might be going out on loan against MK Dons, so we'll see. But we'll talk about, I mean, still on the West Ham Weekly tonight, we'll be doing the flagship show. We'll be doing all the transfer news, and we'll be doing them throughout the week. Some really interesting ones, some new ones coming up, some new names. A lot of French players at the moment, a lot of players from Ligue 1. So it's quite interesting. Last time it was 2 weeks ago, it was all Serie A. Last week it was all Bundesliga. Now this week it seems to be Ligue 1. So it's funny how everything changes. Well, we got 8 for Lanzini if he played the full 90 minutes. Yep, fair enough. Lanzini 8 needs the 2 games to be more consistent. Indeed. Lano, man of the match for me. Another player was confidence. Yeah. Lanzini 8. Little gem is back. Yes, the little diamond. Benoit and Vlasic's good players. Well, I said this before with Lanzini. His best seasons for us was when he was playing with Payet, where they had someone on his sort of football intellectual level. And then he got injured, and then Payet left. He came back, and we were resting all our hopes on him as being this sort of, as our little diamond, our little gem. And until now, he hasn't really had sort of technical players around him. Now with Vlasic and Bowen and Ben Rama, he's got players he can play with now. I don't think he's never. To me, when he's meant to be the top dog, when he's the big dog, the number one, he doesn't seem to. He needs players around him to be creative, and I think he can't do it on his own, if that makes sense. Lanzini was watching the ball, indeed. Right, everyone's going to talk to even fourth round. There's only one governor, Lee McLean. I used to read his autobiographies. Love him. Highway to Hell, indeed. Steve, hope you're well, my friend. Right, let's move on. Who we got next? Bowen. Again, started really brightly, started really up for it. And then, always a constant threat. Obviously, he scored a great goal. And maybe I should have re-scored him. So as I was writing them down as the game was going on, little things that in my head, doing it properly. I don't just come up with these, doing it properly. And I had him down as a 7. And maybe I should have had him down as an 8 because he took that last goal really well. But I thought he was always there or thereabouts. I mean, actually, some of the people are agreeing in the chat, so maybe I'll keep it at 7. He was always there or thereabouts. Yeah, solid game as always. There's no doubt that if he carries on this trajectory, that there has to be a conversation had at England about him getting into the squad for some of the friendlies leading up to the World Cup. Just because he's on form, as I said, he's seen ever since his relationship with Daddy's come out, he's been absolutely on fire, and fair play to him. He's loving life at the moment. A couple of 7s, a couple of 8s. Yeah, I probably maybe should have said, yeah, he started well. Yeah, he started and finished well. You're right. In the middle, sometimes I think sometimes I think we could have. I mean, that game should have been 3-4-0. In my opinion, the amount of positions we got ourselves into, which is always like worrying with these games because it's like, we won, it's great. This is different because it's a cup game. It's about getting through to the next round. But in the Premier League, it's like, you want to get the goals because you never know how, goal difference and goals scored will make throughout the year. So I give Bowen an 8. But the only player on the team with decent is Cresswell. Well, I think Bowen has a great cross on him and a great corner, but yeah, Cresswell is better. I think consistently. Easy 8 is becoming his goals are becoming consistent indeed. 9, 16 will not be enough. England cap incoming. We'll see. 9 a steady game. Took his goal really well. England bound. 8. 7 goal was lovely. 7 points for the goal, indeed. So yeah, the spread here was like 7 to 9. It seems. So maybe I'm at the end. Maybe I should move it into the middle. Yeah, I'm happy to. I'm not precious. And then lastly, Antonio. Now I thought, Antonio, he frustrates the hell out of me sometimes. In that some of his decision making. But then again, he doesn't know what he's doing. So how am I going to assume he knows what he's doing? physically, he looked back to his. I'd say he looked back to his dominating self. Do you know what I mean? His hold up play was excellent as a forward. His hold up play, I think, was fantastic. And sometimes where the defenders couldn't cope with him, they couldn't, and it was the right game to play him. It's again, and that's what I mean. It's how you play Antonio. I mean, we all our hearts were in our mouths that first half when he went down holding his ankle. Same as David Moyes. And I was listening to Gonzo did a video today, and he said that probably helped our cause getting a striker in because it could happen. He could get injured, and I totally agree. Still, I think we'll get a striker in, but that's my opinion. So for me, I think he was physically back to his best. Again, I'm always worried. He doesn't seem to times play the right ball, or he got into a lot of good positions where I think Fredericks took a shot and actually could have laid it off to Antonio, who's in a better position. And Bowen as well took a shot in the second half where he could have laid it off to Antonio to have scored maybe an easier goal. But he set up the goal, he set up the goal for Lanzini and for not Lanzini, for Bowen. I thought he played well with Lanzini as well as a sort of a 10 and a 9. And he was always a threat. Obviously went off in the 90th minute. So I think that was an 8. Because I think Toby, I've just seen in the chat, where's Toby? Here GP's gone for an 8 as well. Played a 10 at sometimes and the 4 others. So I think 8's probably fair, to be honest. 7, 9 for work rate. Yeah, I mean, he seemed to, but what he's doing is he's not running after every ball. And that's what he used to. And that's what he's been doing the last few games. Until he scored that goal, he was always searching for that goal. So he was trying extra hard. And then he's not in the right position. So again, he's going back to sort of where he's most effective is being conservative with how he runs, being conservative with how he chases down the balls, what balls to chase, what lost causes not to chase, etc. And I can't assume he's going to be playing both games this week. He might do. But if he doesn't, what will we do? Will we Bowen up front? I don't know. Depends who, I can't see him playing 3 games in 7 days or 8 days. That's 7 days. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, he came off the 90th minute, for Yarmo, which was a bit stupid. Anyway, 7. Simon, good afternoon to you. I was at the game and outside a bit tense, creating trouble, bad checks, filling bottles, another. We knew it was going to happen, though. I mean, fair play. Although I do love a cup atmosphere. Those 8,000 Leeds fans, they do, having a massive contingent of away fans really does bring something to the atmosphere. And yeah, it was it was a bit naughty afterwards, apparently. But it really does. It really does give some sort of just that extra bit of spice in it. I love it. Continuing, he had Octopus on his back. He certainly did the whole game. Is Gonzo the hunky bloke in the shout? Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's with the pinball machine. 8.5, 7. Liking the fact he's got quite as selfish. Think we should have taken him off at half time though. Really interesting. Antonio needs to keep things simple, move the ball quickly, and don't hang on to it. You're right. You're right, Aldi. He is. And when he does that, he hangs on to it a little bit too long for my liking. And I think sometimes if he plays it simpler, he can start running on defenders and those little 1-2 balls. We did it a few times in the first half with Bowen and Fredericks. It was really, really effective on their left back on Firpo, who ended up having to foul people and then he got injured. So yeah. Antonio 8. Here we go. I just saw the first line. Might be controversial, but I need to ask. Has anyone come in to bid for Antonio for his new contract signed? Never heard of anyone wanting him. No. Nope. I thought Vlasic worked hard enough for like he did. How many times did they haul him and exactly, that's what I mean. Lanzini is fantastic. Arrived, nobody but bid for a 30 to hit their Verizon pace with hamstrings 8 out of Quavers. Good evening, Tomo. Afternoon, hope you well. The ball gets stuck to his feet. Indeed. Right, okay. So who else have we got on the bench? We had some subs. Fornals came on. Was industrious. I put him down as a 6. Didn't do anything particular. I mean, he set up the goal, really, the second goal. But he came on and was industrious he was the right substitution to bring on Fornals because he brings that energy, which I think we lack sometimes in the defensive, not defensive capacity, but in sort of a because he's sort of a real box-to-box player, isn't he? He'll be running all over the place. And as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Vlasic, I can see one of them starting. I mean, it's him or Vlasic, isn't it, as a starter? So whether that's Norwich and then they flip it for Leeds for the Premier League, I don't know. But I mean, Fornals is one of those players as well, where when things aren't working, you look at the team and Fornals usually isn't in their team. We don't usually play bad when Fornals is in the team. Now, I'm not saying that's not the case, but for me, that does. There's something in that. He makes a massive difference when he's playing. 6 for GP. Moyes gets 10. 4 7, 7, 7, 7. I put 6 because I don't think it was long enough to warrant. Thought even with the reduced time looked a bit subdued. Well, he has just come up from COVID as well. So, and don't forget he's got a young kid as well. So he's knackered as well. So that and COVID, double whammy. Vlasic and Lanzini were very free. They were indeed. 7, 7. Don't think he done enough for a 7. But anyway, new West Ham means our goalkeeper isn't man of the match most of the time. Indeed, Jason. Here at Zoo is medically fit. Got getting over COVID, needs fitness and could be in the squad for Leeds. I think it might be a bit too early. But we don't know. As I said, he's got COVID. Yeah, COVID, didn't he? Him and 3 others. Him and 2 others. I believe it was him, Soufal, and Ashby. But apparently he has been on the grass. Apparently Cresswell has been on the grass for several days as well. So it's all looking a little bit rosy. Those Leeds reminded me of our support away games. Never stop singing. Indeed. 7. I love the interview Lanzini did. I'm happy with things, but we just need 2 signings, but sensible, no glory, 50 million. Yep, totally agree, Lee. Totally agree. Masuaku, put it as a 5. He came on to do a job and didn't do it. He came on to do a job to stop down that left-hand side and then sort of drifts off. And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I think everyone's mouth was in their throat, heart was in their throat, rather, when he came on. It was, yeah. I mean, there wasn't really many options. You wanted to bring a defender to sort of, maybe I'd have brought on LSA rather than Masuaku just to tighten up and then maybe move Ben Johnson forward a little bit in more of a little wing back position. You could have done that, and LSA is more of a defender anyway. But yeah, and then for Yama, I put no score. Because the just came on. I don't think you can't warrant it, but I know 10 out of 10s and man of the matches, you can't warrant that for someone who hasn't played, in my opinion. What we got here, by Randolph, indeed, as I said, it sounds like he's off to Villa on loan. Not a bad loan deal, I think, for him. He's not getting into the squad, is he? We've got David Martin there. We brought back a Nang as well from Stevenage, so you would think Anang would be third choice. So I think it's not a bad move for him. And also Connor Coventry apparently is going to go back out on loan to MK Dons. So we'll see what happens with them. I did see a few league managers walking around yesterday. So I imagine they're looking at some of the players for both sides, to be honest. How long for Zuma and Cressy? Well, apparently Zuma, some reckon he'll be in the thing for Leeds. I don't think he will be, but he's just come back from COVID. Apparently they did reckon the end of the month. Cressy, according to Clarence Hugh I was reading today, has been well for several days, so he could be in the squad for maybe the Norwich game. Who knows? Fontaine was superb for us, but we can keep backup strikers are looking to bring 1-2 new. And sadly, been the same for 20 odd years. Exactly, so everything's going to change. Spurs versus Arsenal. If we can win our next 2 games, we need a 4th London draw. Indeed. Well, I mean, Arsenal got knocked out of the FA Cup. If we win on Wednesday, we go back up to 4th. So we go. Indeed, solid performance. I totally agree, Ali. -1. No, it's not fair. Thought he was either way. What a job to have, indeed. Masuaku 4, Masuaku 10. He got Stel tasered by the stewards. 5 out of 10. Stel is watching, indeed. Yama, no comment. Fair enough. I think is a winger. And I mean, he said that. He actually said that as well. And then Olympiacos played him like left back, and he's like, "Well, I'm not a left back." Half a 10 just for Stel. I never even knew he came on until you said, well, he came on literally as the goal happened, and then that was it. So he didn't really play enough games, to be honest, enough times to warrant that. Anyway, in terms of what's coming up the rest of the week, what is coming up the rest of the week? I believe we've got West Ham Weekly tonight, the flagship show. with Steli Arcos. That'll be on tonight, I imagine. We've got tomorrow, we'll have a preview for the Norwich game and the watch along for the Norwich game on the Wednesday. Thursday, I'm working on maybe we can get an ex-Hammer in interview, just waiting to find out their training schedule. And then we'll start getting ready for the Leeds game. The Leeds game again. This should be crazy. So loads of stuff coming up. Obviously, we're going to have all the transfer news, loads of new ones coming up. I've been doing my little transfer show. Might do that Thursday if we can't get an ex-player on. Next week, hopefully, we'll get Governor B on. We were trying to do it this week, but he's got all crazy now. He's like iTunes #1. So so we've been bumped off for Sky Sports. There we go. So hopefully we'll get Governor B on next week, and potentially another celebrity Hammer as well. It was meant to be today, but I can't do it today, unfortunately. And last few comments to everybody. Hi Russ, any chance of playing Twist and Shout by the Tremolos rather than the Beatles? Nice try. I think it's the Beatles. I think I'd probably get lynched if I did it, to be honest. Grassham, I think I would probably get lynched. You've jinxed us or whatever you've done. Antonio going down, nervous 2 minutes, more must have realised. Yep, that's what we're hoping for, but I don't know if it's going to happen. When does Benny play in the AFCON? I don't know, actually. I don't know. He's gone. I know he's gone, but when's he playing? He started yesterday, didn't he? You have to see it. I think it was Cameroon. Within 30 seconds, someone got kicked in the balls. It was hilarious. Google it on Twitter. Literally within the 30s, it's a rough old tournament that is. And I don't know why. I must be mentioned actually. It might be the weather. Why they play it? Don't play in the summer. Might just be far too hot for them. Russ, have you heard from Repka yet? Well, I hear from Repka all the time, but yeah, he's not coming on the show just yet. Although saying actually, we might have an ex-Hammer on this week. He might have one this week. One who I think no one's heard of for ages. So it'd be great. There's two. There's one we a lot of people hear about. There's one which we haven't heard about for ages, but he's got a bit quiet now. So he did say he can go on this week. So we'll see. Anyway, as I said, thanks everyone for joining us. Keep an eye out. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Any news, any transfer news that comes in, we try and bring it to you straight away. But the only way you know if we have it is if you're notified of when we come on. So make sure you hit that bell notification. So maybe anytime we put new content on, maybe consider becoming a member. There's a button down there, join, become a member. We've got 2 tiers now. So if you're a member and you're like, why am I no longer a member? It's because we took out some tiers and you got a refund in December because of that. Then we launched it with 2 tiers. So it makes things a lot easier. We've got over 50 members on the channel. I'd like to thank all of them personally, as I always do in my shows. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Cover your irons. And let's bring on the Harriers.
It's like a family tree.